8 brutal dating mistakes that turn men off. In this video, I am going to share some of the biggest dating blunders. I just love that word, blunders. Anyway, it's Sabrina, your personal love advisor from A New Mode, the channel where we show you how love actually works. Okay, so you guys seem to love it when I tell you what you're doing wrong, and hence the inspiration for this video. In truth, I always aim to tell you guys the things that I wish someone had told me. Essentially, when I make these videos and when I write articles on A New Mode, I'm writing to my younger self. I'm really just sharing the information that would have been so valuable to me, that would have prevented me from getting my heart broken and from my self-esteem being absolutely ravaged during my formative years. And I can't go back and redo the past, but I can take that pain and help you guys avoid it. Before you come for me in the comments, I just want to say, this is not a video about altering your personality or presenting yourself as some sort of dream girl to capture a man's attention. That's not what this is about. I am just sharing the truth behind dating dynamics so that you can avoid getting your heart broken and so that you actually can get the love that you truly want. And I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know, so make sure you watch this video until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please give it a like. This is a super quick, super easy way to help me out and help me grow my channel. And make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post new content. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at A New Mode and subscribe to the A New Mode newsletter, anewmode.com/subscribe, and I will put the link down below. Now, I just want to say one of the biggest breakthroughs for me in my life was when I really, truly understood how men operate. And I gained this knowledge through having a male roommate for a time and also through starting A New Mode with Eric Charles. Eric and I actually wrote a book where we break down every single question women have about men. It's called He's Not That Complicated, and we talk about everything. What turns men off, what turns men on, why men pull away, why they don't text back, what gets a guy to commit. Pretty much every single thing you want to know about men and why they act the way they do. And you can download it right now, or when you're done with this video, you can get it at understandhim.com. Let's talk about the biggest dating mistakes that turn men off. Number 1, being too desperate. Do you ever notice on those nights where you're determined to meet a guy, you don't find a guy, but on the nights where you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna have a fun time with my girlfriends, that's when all the guys come flocking to you? It's not the universe playing tricks on you and messing with your mind. What's at play is that you send out 2 very different vibes depending on your mindset. So when you're in the mindset of being a hunter and going out on the hunt and I want to find a really hot guy and I really want a boyfriend and I'm going to go find someone tonight, you send out a very desperate, needy vibe that just turns people off. When you have a more relaxed, I'm just going to go out, I'm just going to have fun, not looking for anything, no agenda, it's completely different. It's the same way there's like that saying that the best way to find a job is to have a job. When you have an amazing job, all of a sudden you have all these opportunities. But when you don't have a job and you're desperate to find something, then it's really difficult for you. So too, when you can go months and months and months not meeting any guys, not finding anyone to date, just complete singledom. That actually did happen to me. And then as soon as I started dating my husband, it was freaking raining men from all corners of the earth. Men. It was crazy. I was like, where were you guys during like the 6 months where I was just completely single? It's just how it works. It's all about mindset and getting out of that desperate, needy mindset. If you find that you are in this desperate mindset, take control of your thoughts. Your thoughts truly are under your control. I'm not gonna get too much into it here. I do have other videos on how to be a woman of high value, and this kind of addresses that desperate, needy component. So definitely check that out. Number 2, committing before being committed to. So this phrasing I actually took from one of my Instagram followers. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. I asked the question to the group because I was curious what you guys would say. I knew I wanted to film this video, so I said, what do you guys think is the biggest dating mistake people make? And originally this point was going to be committing too soon, but somebody commented committing before being committed to. And I just love that phrasing. So thank you for whoever submitted that. This is a big problem. This is a mistake so many women make. And I was once one of them. You meet a really great guy. He checks all the boxes. And you think this is it. This guy's amazing. I don't want to date anybody else. You cancel your dating apps. You cancel dates with other guys you might have lined up. You just don't even think about other guys. You completely commit yourself to this guy. But he hasn't yet committed to you. So you're giving him all the benefits of having a girlfriend without any of the responsibility. So what motivation does he have to change the dynamic? You're giving him, as they say, that stupid expression, he is having his cake and eating it too. It's really important to keep your options open. I know you really like this guy. I know you think he's so great and he's so amazing, but you are setting yourself up to be a doormat, to be taken for granted if you just give him everything. You give him all the benefits of, having a girlfriend. He's not going to want to change that because why would he? It is human nature to want maximum reward for minimum effort. So he's putting in minimum effort and getting maximum reward. Nothing's gonna change. It's also just important for you not to put all your eggs in one basket, because if you do that and he breaks up with you, you're gonna be so devastated. At least if you're dating around, you're keeping your options open, then it kind of softens the blow if it doesn't work out with this one guy. It also just prevents you from obsessing. I mean, we're gonna cover this later in the video, but this is something that a lot of women struggle with. It's the obsessing and the analyzing and just putting so much of your hopes and your dreams onto this one person. That's way too much pressure, and a relationship cannot survive under that weight. Number 3, overanalyzing. We can also call this stressing. And if you are familiar with my content, then you know this is something I talk about a lot because it is something that is so pervasive. The stressing and the obsessing and the analyzing. And I get the intention. At the heart of it, you just want to prevent being heartbroken, being blindsided by a breakup. So you think if you're hypervigilant and you're on alert for any sign that he might be losing interest or he might be about to ghost you, then you can arm yourself and protect yourself, and you won't be so devastated when that comes to pass, when your fears come to fruition. I'm sure you've heard of the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies, and that really is something that can be at play here when you obsess and you analyze. Because think about it. You meet a guy and at first things are great. And because they're so great, you're worried that it's all going to be taken away because in the past, maybe that is what's happened to you. Maybe good things just don't tend to work out for you. So then your mind goes into overdrive because you're scared. You're scared of that happening to you again. So anytime he takes a really long time to text you back, or if he's a little bit distant, or maybe if he's not as affectionate with you, you start to worry and you think, is this something I did? Okay, what did I do? Oh, maybe I texted him too many times in a row and that was too much for him. And that's why he didn't respond to me. Oh, maybe I was a little too needy the last time I saw him because I asked him, oh, does this dress look good on me? Maybe he thought I was being too insecure or too needy or too dramatic. So maybe next time I see him, I'm going to just be super confident and I'm not going to be like that anymore. And the next time he texts me, I'm going to wait a really long time before I text back so that he doesn't think I'm needy. And you're just analyzing and you're strategizing and you're strategizing. And then what happens is the guy, when he's around you, something just feels off. There is this sense of tension in the air and it's palpable and he doesn't know what it is. You're not doing anything outright that's turning him off, but all of a sudden he just feels very turned off and he doesn't know why. So he starts backing away a little bit. He starts feeling like, it doesn't feel so good to be around this girl anymore. It used to feel really good, but now it just kind of feels weird. Something feels kind of off. So he's backing away and now you're really panicking because you're like, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew he would lose interest. I knew he would pull away, and that's what's happening. But really, he's pulling away because your fear of him pulling away caused you to act in a way that pushed him away. Does that all make sense? The point is, stressing and overanalyzing does not get you anywhere. So when those worried thoughts come into your mind, you have to do whatever you can to get them under control. Otherwise, the thing that you fear is going to come about. Number 4, a thirsty social media. I just want to say that Eric and I have been using the term thirsty like way before it became this pervasive term. I honestly think we were using this term like when we started a new mode back in 2009. So I really think that we're the pioneers behind this. These days with dating, it's not just about how you present yourself IRL. It's not just about your real life interaction. You also have to consider how you're presenting yourself on social media. And there is no greater sign of an insecure, needy woman than one who is constantly posting thirst traps. What does it mean to be thirsty? When you are thirsty, you are craving water. And if you don't get it, you could die. Technically, you could die from not drinking. You could die way sooner than from not eating. That's how it feels with people who need validation. It feels like my sense of self, my sense of worth, my self-esteem is going to absolutely collapse unless I get enough likes on Instagram and unless, enough people comment with a fire emoji whenever I post a picture of myself in a bikini. The point is, this is very desperate behavior and it's a turnoff to guys. So really just watch the way you're presenting yourself on social media. Are you coming from an authentic, genuine place? Are you coming from a place of needing to be filled by comments and by likes? Number 5, playing games. Playing games just doesn't work. Playing games was invented so that insecure, needy women can present the illusion of being confident and trick a guy into wanting to be with them because she seems like she is a confident, independent woman, but really she's not. And eventually her true self is going to come out because you can't hide who you are forever. And then what? Playing games doesn't work. It is a band-aid. It does not actually get to the heart of what's wrong and why this woman has so much trouble attracting a guy. And guys know when you're doing it. As part of my work, I mean, I've been doing this for over 10 years now. I have interviewed countless men about relationships and what turns them off and what turns them on. And all of them consistently say they are so turned off when a woman is playing games. It is obvious to them. They could spot it. Essentially, you have to look at the subtext of what you're doing here. When you're playing games, you are essentially saying to the guy, my true self isn't good enough. So I need to make you chase me around in circles and I need to play a certain part and act a certain way in order to attract you because I don't think you'll be attracted to my real self. Number 6, doing all the work. Yes, I know it's 2021 and women have come so far, but it doesn't matter how far we come in this world. There is never a reason for you to be doing all the pursuing in a relationship. Why? It's just basic biology. Men are hardwired to be the hunters. So don't come for me, because that's just the way that it is. And honestly, it rarely ever works out when a woman is doing all the pursuing and she's pursuing and pursuing and pursuing, and then she wins a man over and they live happily ever after. If a woman has to work that hard to get a guy's attention, it just means he was never interested in her enough to begin with. And fine, maybe there are one-off cases where it all worked out, but that is a very, very rare exception. What usually happens in these cases is you fall into what I call the passive reciprocation trap. What does that mean? Okay, so let's say you meet a guy and you guys are talking. So talking is what precedes actual dating. So you're talking, you text, and you find that you're usually the one to text first. But every time you text him, he responds and you guys engage in this flirty banter. And sometimes you even ask him to hang out and he agrees and he shows up and you guys have fun and you have a great time. Maybe you even hook up. So it seems like he likes you, because if he didn't like you, wouldn't he just ignore your texts? Wouldn't he just say no when you ask him to hang out? Well, it could be that he does like you, but he just doesn't like you enough. But he likes hanging out with you. He likes hooking up with you. He likes flirting with you. That feels good. It's fun to flirt. It's a nice ego boost to him. Why not? But what happens is if you stop reaching out to him, you'll just never hear from him again. And now you might make the mistake of thinking, well, the reason I'm not hearing from him is because the pattern of our relationship is that I always reach out to him. So if I don't reach out to him, he's just going to think I don't like him anymore, and that's why he's not reaching out to me. No. If a guy likes you, he's not just going to let you fade into the abyss. You'll hear from him. So this passive reciprocation trap makes things feel so confusing. This is what gets labeled mixed messages or a guy playing hot and cold. This is where it seems like, does he like me? Does he not like me? But what do I always say about knowing if a guy likes you? When a guy likes you, it's obvious. If it's so confusing like this, it's just because he doesn't like you. Or he likes you a little bit. That's the thing about guys. Guys can't just like you a little bit. Women don't get this because we're not usually like this. We're either all in or get away from me. There's very little like middle ground. Number 7, putting him on a pedestal. This is what this usually looks like. You meet a guy and you are just swept away and you're talking to your friends and you talk to your mom or you talk to your sister and you're like, he's just so amazing. He's just so gorgeous. And would you believe what he did? And would you believe what he said? And he is smart and he has a great job and he's also athletic and he's this and he's this and he's this. And you just build him up and build him up and build him up to be this supreme being. And if somebody is this perfect deity, then how can you ever measure up? Then you put yourself in this desperate, needy place. God, I feel like I've used those words so many times throughout the course of this video, but I'm really just trying to hammer in that point. You put yourself in this lowly place because now you're just this lowly woman trying to get this amazing, incredible guy that you are so undeserving of. Nobody deserves to be put on a pedestal. And one theme, again, that I've mentioned throughout this video is that mindset is everything. So think about your mindset. Are you coming from a place of how can I win him over? Or are you coming from a place of, is he good enough for me? Are we compatible? That's what you should be thinking instead of bending over backwards to win over this guy who just seems so perfect and so amazing. When you're putting him on a pedestal, the subtext is really, you're better than me. I think that you could do much better than me. I don't think that I really deserve you, but I really hope that you don't notice it. This is why celebrities don't usually date fans, like somebody who's just fawning all over them. Sure, it feels really good in the moment, but you don't want to date somebody who's your fan. You want to date someone who's your equal, who challenges you. Number 8, this is my favorite one of all, staying with him when he says he doesn't want a relationship. Ladies, the number one way to prevent yourself from experiencing endless bouts of heartbreak and to really protect your self-esteem is to walk away when a guy says he doesn't want to be in a relationship. One of our main catchphrases on A New Mode is, if a guy says he doesn't want to be in a relationship, believe him. That is it. The reasons don't matter. The facts do. If you continue to stay with him and you continue to date him in the hopes that you can get him to change your mind, one thing is going to happen. You are just going to be crushed and devastated in the end, and you are going to waste so much of your precious time. I think the reason it's so hard to walk away is partially because a lot of us struggle with broken self-esteem and self-worth, dating back to our childhoods, or it could be traumatic relationships of the past. And it's very easy, rather than working on ourselves, going to therapy, going down that deep, that rabbit hole of past traumas and trying to deal with it, it's very easy to think to ourselves, if I can get this guy to commit to me and to love me, then that means that I'm worth it. Then that means I'm lovable. I don't need to deal with my childhood and my past pains and my father who abandoned me or whatever it is. I just need this guy to love me. It just kind of simplifies life in a way, but it rarely works out, because when a guy says he doesn't want to be in a relationship, it means one of two things. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, or he doesn't want to be in a relationship with anybody right now. Either way, you lose. So this is not an opening offer that is up for negotiation. This is not a challenge to see if you can get him to change his mind. The most important thing to do when a guy says this is just walk away. This is one of the building blocks of self-esteem. You do not gain self-esteem by badgering a guy into wanting to be with you. You get it by walking away from situations that aren't what you want. Now, what do you think of this list? Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you've committed any of these dating mistakes. I personally have committed all of them in the past. I definitely want to hear from you. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at A New Mode. And if you want to know exactly why men act the way they do, then you have to download our book, He's Not That Complicated. You can get it at understandhim.com. I will link it down below, and I will see you in the next video.